back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Steph. I am the host of the Witch Wednesdays podcast, but every week I have a separate video here. Usually it's on Fridays, but I have been sick this week. If you listened to the podcast episode on Wednesday, my voice was not there. So the video is delayed by a day. I'm literally filming this on Saturday and it is just going to go up whenever YouTube decides to upload it later today. So hopefully you are still watching this on Saturday. Today I am going to go over my January plans. I posted this at the end of last year. This is my planner, witchy planner for 2023. And there is a section for goals. So I am just going to go over my goals in this book. There was a space for 6 of them. So that is what I chose. I talked about goal ideas over on Patreon at the end of 2022. So if you are still looking for ideas, that is a great place to find some more. I had a ton of ideas in that video and I pulled a few of them that I am going to specifically be working on for myself this year. So I thought I would share those with you. And then also I'm hoping, I guess we'll see at the end of this video, to do house updates, because the last time that you saw that I showed that in a vlog, it was still a mess and a disaster, and we have made so much progress. We are almost done. Like next week, if I have a vlog next week, it will be done, which is crazy because we have been doing this since, we started the project in April of 2021, and my husband gutted our whole upstairs attic area that summer. Because we thought, I think April, May, he gutted everything because we were supposed to start, and then the contractor was a big pain in the ass, and then didn't end up starting any actual work until May or June of 2022. So there was a full year delay. So that was super fun. And then there was just delays with him, and he was terrible, and then we ended up firing him and then finding an amazing contractor who finished everything else, and then we added the basement on there, and he is finally finishing everything up. So my life has been up in the air for so long, I feel like, and now we're finally getting back in. It'll be a while before, as far as furnishings and everything else, everything is completely settled, but it will be so great to actually get back into my house. And yeah, hopefully I will be able to show you everything that's going on there. But today is planner. So goals. The first one that I have, it says here, is only mindful spending. So for me, this is a no spend year in general, because obviously we spent a ton of money last year with all of this house and construction, and I just need everything to settle this year. I need to not bring any new stuff in. I need to figure out what we actually have in our house and organize it, and not keep buying stuff. Just take a break. But that is also going to apply to my witchy stuff as well, because I'm making a separate little nook area, and my practice has changed. You'll see a little bit in my next, goals on here. And there is some stuff that I know I have not used and have not touched, and don't see myself going back to it anytime soon. And I don't love keeping stuff like that on hand, because it needs to be used, and I feel bad when it's not being used. It could be served such a better purpose someplace else and with someone else who would really love it. So that is sort of my goal, is to not really buy any more witchy stuff. I would like to, have only mindful spending in that area. I think it is unrealistic to say that I will not buy, and witchy stores are my favorite place to hang out. I could spend hours in there. So it's really unrealistic to say that I'm not going to buy anything from a witchcraft store in the next 12 months. That is just, it's not gonna happen. But I would like to limit what I'm spending, be very mindful, plan those purchases out in advance instead of just going to the store and letting everything in there speak to me and tell me it wants to come home with me. We gotta come in with a list. You know how you don't grocery shop when you're hungry? That is what I mean. I need to be prepared for mindful spending within witchcraft stores. I also want to focus on using what I have. There's no sense in, hoarding supplies and having 50 candles that I'm never burning. I want to use what I have, make a concerted effort to do that. While I am doing that, I want to declutter anything that I know I'm not using, that I don't plan on using, letting go of the things that have changed in my practice, being okay with that change. I've mentioned that before, I struggle with change. So being okay with that fact that I'm not using those things anymore, that my practice has grown and shifted away from that. And then of course, if anything is in great condition, offering that stuff up over on Patreon in giveaways, which I do all the time. So if you're not joined over there, the link for that is always in the description. Goal number 2 is to create my dedicated witchy space, which you will see a brief overview of today when I take you through what the house looks like and where that's going to be, but then to actually set that up, and then once my collection is sort of decluttered and I'm in the process of using it, to actually create that space and make it my own, and it will, like, nobody else is going to be going in there other than the dog, you will see. So making that actual space, setting it up how I want to, having my, little devotional bowl that I have for 2023. You'll see that at some point too, where I have items in there related to my goals and to help me, that will be sitting on my desk area, sort of like an altar. So getting that all set up is something I'm actually very excited about. Goal number 3 is to celebrate the seasons. And with that, I am going to mindfully observe every Sabbath. I have not done that in a while, and the Sabbats as they're laid out, exactly on that date, don't always speak to me. I've mentioned that before. Imbolc especially is supposed to be, first signs of spring, and there are no first signs of spring on February 1st in Chicago. There's just not. So I celebrate that like a little bit later, or I change the meaning of Imbolc. If I want to focus on something on February 1st, it's not going to be the first signs of spring. It's going to be some of the other ideas that are associated with Imbolc. And I really just want to observe all of the different seasons and appreciate the changes. I'm such a winter person, and I like fall as well. And then in spring and summer, I'm sort of just like shut down, especially when it comes to witchcraft. And I would like to not necessarily push myself to do things then when I really don't want to, but just to observe the seasons, mark the changes, figure out what's going on with me, check in with myself during those times, and just observe and kind of celebrate them and appreciate them for what they are, even though I don't like spring and summer. Appreciate that we need all the seasons, and having that hot weather makes me appreciate winter even more. The next 2 are my sort of fun ones. So my 4th one is to lean more into pop culture witchcraft, which has been something that I've always kind of done, but it's been on the back burner and a smaller part of my witchcraft practice, and this year I am leaning into that even more. I very briefly talked about pop culture witchcraft in one of our very first podcast episodes when we went over like types of witches, and pop culture witchcraft to me is just really fun, and I love the sort of more modern witch representations. Witches in older movies were more like the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz, but Glinda is also a witch. And the more modern representations are closer to what witches actually are. Not necessarily everything in Harry Potter, but there is some true stuff in Harry Potter. But like Sabrina, there were a lot of things that Sabrina got right. I think that's really fun, like the new one. And there are so many great representations of witches now in like the updated Charmed. I even like the original Charmed. I have not seen the new Craft. We'll see. That's something that's on my list to watch. But there is a great element of pop culture witchcraft of taking examples from those TV shows and movies of those practices and seeing how you can apply those to real life. So sometimes they come from real witchcraft spells and practices, and they are just made fantastical. So I like to sort of break those down and see how to make them actually work. And then there's also an aspect of pop culture witchcraft that I really like, of channeling the energy of those characters in the same way that you would ask for deities help, because they have a specific energy related to, let's say Aphrodite is related to love and beauty, and you might want to channel the energy of Aphrodite and have that energy and confidence in your glamour magic. The same way you can use those characters from pop culture and use that sort of energy and emulate that character in different areas of your life and in different spell work. So I think that is really fun. It's something that calls to me because I do love watching movies and TV shows that have witches in there. It is something that fascinates me. So I am really excited to lean more into pop culture witchcraft this year and use that more specifically in my spell work, rather than just observing it and appreciating it, actually diving in and doing all those things for myself. The next fun one is to curate a zodiac-based wardrobe. So I talked about this over on Patreon. I know that there was somebody who had a video on this. This wasn't my idea. There are like a bunch of zodiac related wardrobe ideas. on YouTube that you could find, but there was specifically a witch that was talking about this in relation to her practice and pulling from, I think it was her sun sign, into her wardrobe to just make her wardrobe like more herself. And I think it was specifically for like more confidence and being authoritative. I feel like it was Capricorn maybe, but I cannot find it and I have no idea who it was. I can't remember. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. I will link them. I will share that video. I cannot, I like went through everybody that I follow and none of them have that. Like I searched so many keywords, so I have no idea where I saw that, but I don't think I made it up. Like I don't think I dreamed it. I think it's out there. But every zodiac wardrobe is not from a witch creator. It's from like a fashion or wardrobe YouTube creator. But the one I'm thinking of was specifically by a witch here on YouTube. So I'm gonna do my best to try to find it, but I've like looked everywhere and I can't find it. If it's out there, it's not like in the title of the video. So I'm not sure how I'm going to find that, but I will. But maybe you all know and you can tell me. But there are a few ways to go about that. I'm looking at my big 3 and my sun sign is Scorpio, and I don't necessarily know that that's like the wardrobe that I'm going to portray, because Scorpio is a lot of like black and leather and lace and intensity, and black is not in my color season, so I don't think it will be that, but I'm thinking more that it is my rising sign, which is Sagittarius, and that's sort of how you present to the world and how people like first perceive you is your rising sign. So I think I'm gonna go that route, and I need to look more into that. And I think it would just be a really fun way to update my wardrobe and have that sort of match my personality. And you will see, I think it is next week's video, that I have a few more pounds that I want to lose, and I'm going to do some weight loss magic for that, and that will be next week. So I think my reward for that is going to be new updated clothes, and I would like them to really match not just like my color season, but my personality as well. And I think that doing that through zodiac signs would be a lot of fun. And my last goal, I think, is incredibly important, not as fun as the last two, but to take breaks and rest, because I am very bad at that. And I try to just push through and then I end up getting burned out or I get sick. So I need to remember to schedule in those breaks and rests and recognize when my mind and body are telling me like, no, we need to slow down, we need to not do anything, whether that is content creation or whether that is witchcraft practice in general. I am of the belief that you don't need to do something witchy every single day in order to be a witch. You just are one. And you definitely don't need to do regular spells and rituals if you don't feel called to. So I need to remember that and schedule in those breaks and rest. So those are my 6 goals for this year related to my witchcraft practice. Let me know yours in the comments. I also always love to see what you have going on. And don't forget that February 1st in bulk is a time to start goals. That is one of the things associated with in bulk. So if you were not ready on January 1st, don't worry about it. Use this month to sort of set yourself up, make your ideas, and sort of start them, get things in place. And then February 1st, you can hit the ground running. And now then, house updates. So house updates. Ta-da! I think last time you saw this space, it had nothing done. Like I don't even know if drywall was in. So the drywall's in, the hardwood flooring is in. As you can see, that's what I'm working on today, is setting up my little witchy corner. I'm sort of getting everything up here. I am decluttering, setting everything up. So preview of what it is starting to look like. And it is done this way as well, which is going to be our master bedroom area. So there's our bed, we got that set up. We got the TV stand set up. The TV actually needs to go on it, obviously. We've got some work to do still. And the staircase is finally done. One day I'll show you that in the dark, lit up. I love the chandelier. I spent like $300 on it, but it was totally worth it. Staircase all the way done. Very exciting. Kitchen is done too, almost. Hanging the microwave there is one of the last things on the list. Got a new stove, got a new dishwasher. And then the staircase continues into the basement. So that is what we were planning on doing, was the upstairs and the staircase, and potentially the kitchen. Kitchen was like, can we save the cabinets or not? Turned out not. So kitchen was added to that. And then John decided that we were just going to add the basement, because he was like, well, once you're like already doing the construction, you might as well just keep going. And I hated every second of it. So anyway, down into the basement. And let me turn on some lights. So we have new flooring. We put a little seating area here. This used to be John's workout area for like all of his weights and stuff. But now we decided to put these 2 extra recliners here and make it a sitting area. And then in here in the laundry room, nothing has changed, but it is like kind of a big space there. So he is going to put all of his weights and workout stuff in there. And then the basement continues this way. Ta-da! Last time you saw this, it was all torn up. No walls or anything. There used to be a wall here that turned that side into a bedroom, and it was just this area. But now we've got some of the games set up. We have that many TVs. Yeah, so we have 3 TVs. Giant ass TVs. Yep. In the recliners, we've got a closet over there, which right now has a bunch of John's sports stuff in there, but is soon going to, he's like, that's his domain of sorting and organizing, like I'm doing with my witch stuff upstairs. And then that will be the liquor closet. And then we put in a bar. So yeah, and there's another TV. Yep, yeah. So we put in a bar area with 2 mini fridges. We've got the sink. We've got the toaster oven / air fryer. So all very exciting stuff. And then as you can see, that's another like little last thing that has to be done. But holy crap. So that's like, as you could see, 2 entire floors of our 3-floor house that were redone and were completely under construction, demolished at the same time, unusable at the same time. So you can see why my life was so chaotic and everything was just completely out of control. So I feel so much better. Like obviously we have a lot to do. Like there's a couple of little things, like I said, the microwave, outlet covers, things like that, that the contractor is coming and taking care of this upcoming week. You are watching this on a Saturday, so if I have a video up next Friday, I think everything will be like actually done by then. And we are just spending the week like moving more stuff in, because we've been staying at my mom's house, so like a ton of our stuff is there. Have to move all of that in and then just slowly put things back together. It is a process, but we're getting there and I feel so much better. I'm gonna be back into my house soon. So yeah, those are the house updates, and that is everything for this video. I will see you in the next one.